Hi, friends. So, today I'm here for a very special treat. I am going to share with you 5 of the tips that I learned about saving from my parents. Okay, so let's jump right into it. The first tip that I learned from my parents is to start early. My parents opened up bank accounts for me and my siblings when we were young. We were probably like, I think I remember having a bank account when I was like 7. It was a savings account only. It was my parents' name was on it as well as mine. And from time to time, I remember just going and dropping off money into the account, which leads me into step number 2. Nothing is too small. So of course, as like a 7-year-old, I didn't have a lot of money. So I would literally go to the bank just to take in $5. And, from there, over the years, the $5 increased to $10, and it was very sporadic. The value that my parents were trying to instill in us at that time was that it's important when you get money to, spend some of it, but also to save some of it. All right. Step number 3, step number 3, when you put money into your savings, don't touch it. The whole point of it is for you to save for a rainy day, for an emergency fund, for a trip later on down the road. If you're constantly dipping in and out of your savings, then you'll never have any savings. So when you put it in the savings account, don't touch it. Step number 4, give yourself an allowance. So each month, I even do this as an adult. Each month we go through our monthly bills, me and my husband, and we both give ourselves an allowance. And with this allowance, that's our free money. That's our eating out money. That's our entertainment money. We can buy gifts for one another with that money. That is our free ticket to spend however we want to spend, but that is after we've put money in savings. So a lot of times when it comes to savings, people want to save last, but when you think of it that way, then in my opinion, it's a little harder to do. So it's very important to give yourself an allowance. And finally, step number 5 is to treat yourself from time to time. Yeah, you work hard. I know it's important to save. And, like I said, you can have savings for multiple reasons, an emergency fund for a specific reason, like you're trying to buy a car, or it could be for a trip. It's very important that you treat yourself. I mean, life is short. You don't know how long you're going to be here. So make sure that you're also using your savings as an opportunity to take that trip that you want to take. And to live your life in the way that you want to live your life. I also recommend having multiple savings accounts. Like you have one as your trip fund, one is your emergency fund. And that way the two are always separate. If you're saving for a specific reason, then you have that in a separate account from your traditional normal household savings, and you're able to make those decisions accordingly. So the reason that I want to talk about savings today is because I follow a lot of people online on social media, and they're always talking about 401ks. They're talking about, IRAs and all these other different types of savings accounts. And I know from my background and just being, a child of very hardworking parents, that everybody doesn't have access to, 401ks and IRAs. And a lot of us haven't had the experience with coming from generations of wealth and things that propel us forward in a way that we have the ability to start, not from the beginning. For all of us who are starting from the beginning, this is our, opportunity to build these savings accounts for our kids. I want to make sure that it's accessible. And the way that we make it accessible is by starting with $5 each month, increasing that to $10 when you can. Every little bit helps. If you can save $100 in your bank account, that's $100 to help pay for something that goes wrong with your car. The other thing is, it's very important that we foster the idea of savings in our children. And, so giving your child an allowance, you give them $10 as an allowance and make him save too. Just trying to make our children better than we are. I know I personally do that with my son. He's 9 years old, and he definitely likes to spend money. He gets kind of cheap sometime, and he wants to save his money. He has a bank account. My name is on the bank account as well. I don't think he even knows how much money is in his bank account because mom has made some deposits in there that he doesn't know about. But that's the point, is like he's getting that experience with putting money in and kind of not touching it. And so that's very important for our kids as well.